Greeting algo artisans, which coins are next for ETF? Ripple and Solana? Possibly. We're going to take a look at the charts right now. Okay, so here we are looking at Ethereum post-ETF approval. Now, it hasn't been allowed for trading just yet, and the liquidity levels from yesterday are marked out on the map here on the chart to give us an idea of where price might go. But for the moment, there has not been a lot happening in the price action. Price has basically stayed where it was. In a way, this is kind of a good thing. It does seem as if this so far has remained stable instead of being a sell the news event. However, the ETF for Bitcoin did also flounder for a few days before falling, so we don't really know exactly what is going to happen. As we said on the last show, this was a different time in the market than when Bitcoin had its ETF, so things might perform differently, and we're just going to keep our eye on the charts and the liquidity levels. And I'm not going to go too deeply into the Ethereum chart right now because nothing has really changed since the last show, so please watch yesterday's show for more on that. Let's move over to Solana because it does appear that Solana might be the next ETF. We do have Solana looking pretty strong here over the past few weeks, going back to May 14th, about 10 days ago actually, so a week and a half. And we are seeing a pullback right now in price, which is probably just natural considering that Bitcoin is also slowing down a little bit after its move up to the top of the consolidation that it was in. So let's take a look really quickly at the price action and where price might want to go. First, we're going to mark out this range, this local range that was created by Solana. Price may come down to this area to grab liquidity, and as a matter of fact, I could extend this range back a little bit farther as you do see some price action back here that also matches that, right? So more or less we have some liquidity in this area that's basically between 130 and 150, and price could dive back down there to grab some liquidity. And we are going to take a look at the Kingfisher to see what the liquidity looks like before this is done. I'm going to take a brief look at the algos here. Okay, a little bearish on the daily. Now I'll have a quick look at the weekly. Let's see what the algos say. Relatively bullish, but weekly bullish. So price does look like it's merely having a pullback before grabbing some liquidity and possibly going sideways or up. So what could that look like? Let's jump back down to the daily. Pretty simple here. We have our range that we marked out, and we even have some peaks above that range. So I am going to place a line here for the structure. So price merely could stop right here at the top of this. That's very possible. However, let's go ahead and take a look at the Kingfisher to see where the liquidity is right now, and that would give us some more clues. So here's the Kingfisher, really great website. I do have a referral code in the description. This is a solution that does more than just liquidity. It's got options data. You can trade right from it. It's got, actually, it really has everything you need to trade. So I would take a look at the Kingfisher.io. It's also very affordable. And we have some liquidity for Solana to the downside, and most of it appears to be between 145 and 153 with a peak at 147. So let's mark that on the map. So we're going to go ahead and make this yellow so we can distinguish it from the price action ranges. We did have a peak at 148. So let's go ahead and put a line right there so that we know a price might be attracted to that specific point. And what we can do is back this up with some Fibonacci measurements here. So we take a look at this impulse up, and the 618 is actually right here at the top of these areas here, these little pokes up that we got out of the prior ranges. So price could merely just go down to about 160 and bounce. Very possible. However, price would be attracted to a little deeper, a little bit towards the 148 in this yellow box. So really price could go anywhere in this area and hop up. And this yellow box would be a 786 Fibonacci retracement as well. It does appear that price might, again, scoop down, grab liquidity, and head back up. And of course, that's going to depend on what's happening with Bitcoin. And we will take a brief look at that as well. But let's take a look at the liquidity to the upside of SOL. Okay, so we have a little bit at 172 and 178. So 172, which is pretty close to price, and so is 178. So if price were to jump up, if price were to get a little bit bullish, it might go up and grab these on the way down, or it could bounce off of these and come up. So right now, though, I think the most likely thing for price to do is to go ahead and head down towards this 160 area, and how it reacts at 160 is going to tell us whether or not it might even head down a little bit further into this yellow liquidity box. And if price is bearish, it's going to tend to want to go to where the liquidity is. Till then, that's what the plan is. So I may look for some shorts myself over the weekend. I know the market's going to be slow, especially on a holiday weekend, so I may not touch trading at all. But if the conditions do line up, I may take a trade with a little bit deeper of a stop due to that low volatility. Let's move over to Ripple. Okay, so here we are with Ripple on the daily, and Ripple is a bit bit less reliable when it comes to algos and things like that. Technically, you can use algos to trade it. I'm not saying you can't, but Ripple really does its own thing. In fact, I'm going to zoom out to the weekly. Now, on the weekly, the algos are pretty flat. Not seeing a lot of strength, but what you'll notice in the price action is that there tends to be higher lows. Each one of these lows, on average, tends to get a little bit higher. So crypto Ripple does appear to be on an uptrend. And this is something we've been looking at going back to 2022. And it just seems to continue up. And if you zoom out really far, you can actually see that there is a bit more of this. And in fact, you can extend this line going back, and it even matches this. So there is a bit of a theory that the lows keep getting higher as it gets bought up. However, it is pretty tough to try to, again, use the algos to trade Ripple. I think it's better to be looked at as an investment rather than a trading vehicle. This is just my experience, and I do think Ripple has a future. However, that future is going to be greatly dependent on politics and things like that. However, part of those politics, as we're going to see right now, is the ETF. So let's take a look. So this is a CoinDesk article saying that Solana and XRP could be possible candidates for ETFs. Standard Chartered analyst Jeffrey Kendrick said that those exchange-traded funds could be on the horizon in 2025. So this is a ways out, and this might be after the bull market is done. It says that several industry experts have suggested that Solana would be a logical choice for a third ETF given its similarities to Ethereum. Brokerage firm Bernstein said in a note on Thursday that given Ethereum's classification as a commodity, the token could follow a similar path. Solana is the third biggest cryptocurrency after Bitcoin and Ether by market cap, excluding Tether and Binance Coin. This is not a whole lot of information, but a lot of the right people are guessing Solana and XRP, which is why we're looking at it. So let's go ahead and round out this conversation by taking a look at what Bitcoin may or may not do over the weekend, because this will affect all the rest of the crypto as it always does. First of all, none of anything we say is investment advice, but the farther out these go, the less accurate they become. But you can see the general idea of what I drew does seem to be holding in that price headed up. Almost grabbed that top target, and price does seem to be consolidating on the top half of this entire range. So it actually came down and grabbed some liquidity off the midpoint and appears to be headed back up. The algos are relatively bullish on this time frame. This is the daily time frame. Of course, once you go to a higher time frame, the algos do tend to be more bullish, right? Strongly bullish, not very strongly. Let's just say pretty strongly bullish algorithm indication on the weekly time frame here. So very good chance price is going to do something like what I talked about here. And there's always that possibility the price goes down a little bit lower to grab some liquidity and then takes its time to head up. But I think we probably have seen the lows at this 56,500, and price is probably just going to either break out to the upside or grab more liquidity from about 66,000, 67,000, or even possibly grab some from the 61,000 range before it breaks out. So we'll see what happens. You know, a lot of this is going to have to do with traditional finance and everything else, right? But with everybody piling into Bitcoin for the ETFs, I'm pretty sure this is probably just going to stay above 60,000 and continue up. Anything can happen though. So I do hope that this video and all these charts are helpful. Please come over to algofactory.tech. We teach people how to build trading methods that can help them extract money from the market on a regular basis. Some people even are able to take those trading methods and they can have them coded and have them auto-traded for them. That is some people's goal, although it doesn't have to be yours. You don't have to know how to code. All you have to do is work hard, and the probability of your success goes up. Please come on over to Algo Factory. Here is a testimonial from a very happy client of ours. Let's go ahead and have a listen to that right now.
Hey guys, so I've been in Algo Factory for around 10 months now. I held crypto, but I hadn't traded crypto or Forex before. Since joining, I've learned a massive amount that I use almost daily for trading, reading charts, using indicators, and understanding different aspects of the market. So I found the course incredibly easy to follow, and the interactive style of teaching is incredibly beneficial. So now that I'm comfortable in my trading ability, I'm starting to invest more capital, and projections are looking very promising. My goal is to be trading full-time in the future, which I believe is highly achievable. I've met an amazing community of like-minded people and made some great friends. In my opinion, both V and Cowboy go above and beyond, and I highly recommend joining Algo Factory. Thanks for everything, legends. Cheers.
Okay, again, thanks for listening. Come on over, algofactory.tech. Don't forget, trade your job, upgrade your life. We'll see you on the next one.